The rain had been falling for hours when Daniel noticed the boy sitting beneath the broken awning of an old grocery store. Daniel was driving home from work, exhausted and impatient. His shirt was soaked at the shoulders, his briefcase rested beside him, and all he wanted was a warm meal and his quiet apartment. Then he saw the boy. He looked no older than 11. His clothes were torn, his shoes were soaked through, and he was hugging his knees to keep warm. Beside him sat a small plastic bag containing everything he owned. People walked past without looking. Daniel stopped. He stared at the boy through his windshield for several seconds before finally stepping out into the rain. "Hey, kid," he said gently. "Are you okay?" The boy immediately lowered his head. "I'm fine." Daniel noticed his lips trembling. "You don't look fine." "I said I'm fine." Daniel smiled sadly. "Okay. You don't have to tell me anything." The boy looked up, surprised. Daniel walked into the grocery store and returned with a hot sandwich, milk, a banana, and a thick blanket from a nearby shop. The boy stared at the food. "This is for you." "I can't pay you." "I didn't ask you to." The boy hesitated before taking the sandwich. He ate slowly at first, then faster, tears quietly running down his cheeks. Daniel pretended not to notice. "What's your name?" "Eli." "Nice to meet you, Eli." "I'm Daniel." Eli looked at him suspiciously. "Why are you helping me?" Daniel thought for a moment. "Because someone once helped me when I needed it." Eli looked down at his food. "Where are your parents?" The boy's expression changed. "My mom died last year." Daniel's heart sank. "And your dad?" "I don't know where he is." Daniel sat beside him. "Do you have somewhere safe to sleep tonight?" Eli shook his head. Daniel looked toward the dark street. "Come on." Eli stepped back. "Where?" "I'm taking you to a shelter." Eli's eyes filled with fear. "They'll send me away." "Not if I'm with you." Daniel drove him to a family shelter and stayed until the staff confirmed they had a bed available. Before leaving, Daniel handed Eli a small envelope. Inside was some money and a handwritten note. Eli opened it. "If life ever gives you the chance to help someone else, do it. That's how kindness keeps moving." Eli looked up. "You'll come back?" Daniel smiled. "I promise I'll try." For the next several months, Daniel visited Eli whenever he could. He brought books, clothes, school supplies, and sometimes simply sat with him and listened. Eli slowly changed. He returned to school. He began reading constantly. He became fascinated with computers and business. One afternoon, Eli showed Daniel a notebook filled with ideas. "I want to build something one day." "What?" "I don't know yet." Daniel laughed. "Then start by learning everything you can." Years passed. Daniel eventually stopped hearing from Eli. Life became complicated. His company struggled, debts grew, and the business he had spent 15 years building began collapsing. At 46, Daniel found himself sitting alone in his office late one night, staring at a stack of unpaid bills. His employees had been laid off. His savings were nearly gone. His bank had rejected another loan. The company would probably close within weeks. Daniel leaned back and closed his eyes. For the first time in his life, he felt completely defeated. The next morning, his secretary rushed into his office. "Mr. Daniel, there's someone here to see you." "I don't have time." "He says you need to hear him." Daniel sighed. "Send him in." The door opened. A tall young man in an expensive dark suit stepped inside. Daniel barely recognized him. The man smiled. "Hello, Daniel." Daniel froze. There was something familiar about those eyes. Eli? The young man nodded. It's me. Daniel stood slowly. My God. Eli walked toward him and hugged him tightly. For several seconds, neither spoke. You grew up, Daniel whispered. Eli laughed through tears. You did too. Daniel smiled. What happened to you? Eli sat down. You happened to me. Daniel frowned. You gave me a sandwich, a blanket, and a place to sleep. But you gave me something more important. What? Someone who believed I wasn't worthless. Eli explained that after entering foster care, he had worked hard in school. He earned scholarships, studied technology and business, and eventually founded a software company. His company had recently become one of the fastest-growing firms in the country. Daniel listened in disbelief. Then Eli placed a folder on the desk. What is this? I bought your company's debt. Daniel stared at him. You did what? I paid your creditors. Your company is no longer in danger of shutting down. Daniel's eyes widened. Eli, I can't accept this. You can. No. I helped you because you were a child who needed help. I never expected anything. I know. Eli smiled. That's why I'm doing this. Daniel's eyes filled with tears. I don't understand. Eli pointed toward the folder. You once told me kindness keeps moving. You started it. I'm just keeping it moving. Daniel looked away, wiping his eyes. I only bought you a sandwich. Eli shook his head. No. You stopped. Daniel looked at him. You stopped when everyone else walked past me. Silence filled the room. Then Eli stood. I want you to stay and run this company with me. We'll rebuild it together. Daniel smiled through tears. You're offering me a job? Eli laughed. I'm offering you a second chance. Daniel stood and hugged him. Years ago, he had thought he was simply helping a homeless boy survive one cold night. He never imagined that small act of kindness would come back years later and save his entire life. But perhaps that was the secret of kindness. You never truly know where it will go. Sometimes, a sandwich becomes hope. Hope becomes a dream. A dream becomes a life. And one small act of compassion can travel through time until it finds its way back to you when you need it most. That evening, Daniel and Eli walked out of the office together. Outside, the rain had started again. But this time, neither of them was standing alone beneath the cold sky. Daniel looked at Eli and smiled. Ready to change some lives? Eli smiled back. Together.